Real quickly, the focus is on what is broke. And when this person looked at me, she knew I was broke physically and just kind of fixed me up. So it was really great. I'll tell you, both Sean and Ty are probably, from a health standpoint, some of the brightest and most brilliant people you'll see. Tylene is just an avid studier of things. She's done amazing work. She's literally trained, they'll tell you more, but at least a couple thousand physicians helping to focus on nutrition. We're very, very, I'd say we're blessed tonight to have them here. I could go on and on, guys. There's not a health issue that I've not asked Tylene about, and she hasn't had the right information and sends you to the right information. Not only just tells you, but gives you where to go, right? Like, what type of credibility is that? Okay? Gives you where to go. And it's not just little tiny places, it's things like, oh, on Harvard, this study was done, on this study, the CDC. And then detailed books of, hey, you need to read this, to help other individuals kind of champion the cause of what we're trying to do. The company has a financial side and a health side, right? Without health, doesn't matter how much you have, right? And if you can't make a bunch to enjoy great health, then it doesn't matter either. So they're championing that cause. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up what I consider a great friend of mine and a dynamic duo. Both of them are great friends of mine. The dynamic, a power couple, changing the world. Come on up, Sean and Tylene.
We love Todd. Riding my bicycle to Vegas.
Here to Vegas.
Far enough drive, I think, to hopping on your bike. Pedal up. I mean, is that not?
I'd rather just eat veggies.
I'd rather just take a plane. Or the RV, just fly up there. But we love Todd. We met Todd 7 or 8 years ago, and he came in, obviously, for us to help his daughters. We did that, and that was super cool. But Tylene finally got him to listen so we could help him as well, which is always really good. We, this isn't anything about anything tonight, except we just want to get you some help, information. Tylene and I have been doing this a long time, for many, many years. Tylene has been teaching health practitioners for about 20 years now. Could be a chiropractor, could be an MD, could be a naturopath, any type of person that's trying to help people. Athletes, when I met Tylene, she got my attention because of the athletes that she had worked with. When I met her, it's been a while. I was actually a head high school football coach here in Chandler, and at Valley Christian High School, thanks. And I had really bad arthritis in my hands. I was in my mid-30s, super bad arthritis, wasn't cool, couldn't throw the ball around with the guys anymore. It was very frustrating. I'd already lost my mom to colon cancer, and I was trying to be more preventative. And what could I do to help, not only my health, but the kids, and the kids I was coaching, my own kids, so on and so forth. Does that make sense, right?
Yes.
And I thought I was doing things right, but I wasn't feeling right. So she quickly taught me about, let me tell you this story, because this is really where it all started for her and I. I had arthritis in my hands that I was going to a massage therapist here in Ahwatukee once a week for just under 2 years. And she would just work on my hands. I was in a lot of pain. I didn't understand why. The night I met Tylene, I was actually speaking for a company, and we were introduced. She told me she wanted to save the world. I'm like, what do you do? Well, I want to save the world. I'm like, really? That's pretty cool. I don't know what you mean by that, but it sounds neat. And
I'm still working on it.
Still working on it. But she told me that she'd worked with some athletes. That got my attention. She's not the worst to look at either.
Thanks, baby.
So I went and saw her, and the bottom line was this. In about 4 days, my arthritis was gone. And when I went to see her, this is my own personal story. We're not allowed to say a lot, but I'll just share this with you. I remember her telling me something. She says, so tell me your stuff, what's going on? I go, and then I didn't tell her all my stuff. Sure. I said, look, I have arthritis in my hands, went to specialists in Phoenix, Scottsdale, and it really is no fun. And blah, blah, blah. She says, you don't have arthritis. I go, yes, I do. I'm living the dream of this pain of arthritis. She goes, no, they have to name a disease so they can create a drug. Okay? I'm like, all right, whatever. I have arthritis. No, you don't. Yes, I do. Let's go back and forth. She says, Sean, you have lost the ability to break your proteins down to an amino acid. That's all. I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, just what I said. When you eat protein, you take protein, you eat protein. I go, of course I eat protein. A lot of it. She says, well, in your body, it doesn't break down to an amino acid. That's what your body's looking for and recognizes. It stays as uric acid. I said, okay, whatever. So she started teaching, think about this, is almost 20 years ago, words like enzymes, probiotics, whole food supplements, things of this nature I've never heard of. The bottom line was in about 4 days, I said my pain was gone, went back and saw her again, asked her to re-teach me. I'm getting it going over there. Teach me what really had taken place. My acid reflux had gone away, my indigestion had gone away. It was just life-changing stuff. So one thing led to another. We ended up starting a business because I was researching and I knew she wanted to save the world. She asked me, how can we do this? So we started a business to educate. There was no business model, there was no business plan, right? It wasn't about making money, but how could we get people this information? And one thing led to another, and we started gathering all these athletes. I thought that was super cool. She could care less. She's not a sports girl. To me, it was cool. I'm seeing NFL, NHL, NBA, all these athletes ordering product from us, and we didn't advertise it. It was all word of mouth. And then finally, if you guys remember Steve Nash from the Suns, Steve came to us in 2010 and asked if he could be our partner. We went to his home and talked to him. And I'm West Coast. I was cool, right? West Coast. She's mean. She's East Coast. East Coasters here? Some of you East Coast? You guys know what I'm saying, right?
Love them.
It's good. Since it's loud next door, you'll be able to use your East Coast voice tonight.
I'm so excited. I'm ready to pick it up a
You
notch.
guys go West Coast voice sometimes. And we just started. One person at a time. One person at a time. So we've made products for many companies, for you name it, doctors. But really it wasn't about the product. It's what can we do to teach people how to take their health into their own hands. Because you can call it and say whatever you want, but we've been duped. We've been duped in a big way. And we're not allowed to say a lot. We can have the San Antonio Spurs go back-to-back NBA championships with us and what we provide them nutritionally. We have Steve Nash who will say anything we want him to say because what it did for his health. But we're not allowed to say anything. It's just, we love our country, but it is what it is. Is that, you guys understand that? You get the message.
Yep.
I think more and more people are so sick and tired of not feeling 100% that they want change. Who in here really still feels 100%? I mean, do you feel 100%? Do you remember what that's like? I'll be 54, Ty's almost 50. She's right around the corner. I'm going to start giving her some grief.
49 and holding.
You know, but we know with six kids, 7 grandkids, we know we got to feel good. We got a lot to take care of. And I think for some people it's just getting out of bed in the morning. For some it's going upstairs. It's not about being a Steve Nash elite athlete. It's being the best version of you. And your body is not drug deficient. Your body is nutrient deficient. And there's several reasons for that. And we're going to teach you some of that, and then we'll save some time at the end so you can ask some questions. Is that cool?
Yeah.
She's an amazing lady, and she's taught so many. But the thing I like the most when it comes to teaching this stuff about Tylene, yet she researches 2, 6, 8, 10 hours a day. I don't know why. She's her passion. I know all the stuff I know just because I don't have a choice. But what I like is she can put it into simple words for the everyday person. And that was our goal. It was neat to have these athletes, but we wanted to help everyday people. Doesn't matter the age, as if they're a pregnant lady, if it's someone in their 90s, it doesn't matter. We need this information. Okay, so that's what this is about. That's it. And so hopefully you'll get a couple takeaways and then be able to ask what we've done. And we do hope that things will resonate with you because we need your voice. Because we can't shout it from the rooftops. You guys watch the commercials. You watch the drug commercials. They're whack, aren't they?
Yeah.
Right. I like to say, there's so many of them. Have you ever seen the one?
my God.
Right? That's crazy. Your headache will go away, but your arm might fall off. But phew, I'm going to go pass on that. So we're going to start tonight. I'm going to just kind of ask Eileen some questions, and that way we'll try to keep her on point, right? And then hopefully you can track along, and we'll take it from there. We're going to start with digestion. And I'm going to ask Eileen to teach you specifically about digestion, because digestion takes precedence basically wherever you talk. Whatever you teach, whether you eat good or not so good, you need to break down what you need to do. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So let's talk, Ty. Let's first have you jump in and talk about what's fresh and living food and what's today.
So what we've been teaching for years and what I found out through helping people is the more fresh and living raw food you eat, the healthier you are. That's the bottom line. And what raw food is when you haven't heated it over a certain degree. 116, 118 is around what the research says. So that would pretty much include everything. Like if it's been canned, it's totally dead and completely denatured of all of the enzymes. If you're microwaving it, that's a whole nother story. You're changing the structure of it. I would microwave my food. And just so any of the cooking process, including pasteurized orange juice, anything pasteurized is going to be totally dead. Same thing with milk. If it's pasteurized, it's totally dead. If you went and had a goat or cow in the backyard and milked them, that milk would be fresh and living and still have enzymes in it. So therefore, people that drank that wouldn't be lactose intolerant because there'd already be lactase in there to break down the milk sugar. So fresh and living food already has what you need to break down that food. So when you eat an apple, all the enzymes in that apple to break down that apple. So with that being said, you also can't eat a steak and then eat an apple and think that the apple enzymes are going to help you process that steak. Actually, the steak will sit in your digestive tract for many, many, many hours, and the apple will actually just rot on top of it. And so we have a lot of putrefied food that's actually rotting in our intestinal tract, and that's what's really starting to cause a lot of the diseases we're seeing. And you'll see all the itises, colitis and, arthritis, anything with itis is inflammation. So when you have these things that putrefy and sit in the gut, it actually creates disease, but it also creates inflammation throughout the whole body.
Perfect.
Beginning.
Don't get it going. Okay, so here's the deal. You heat your food, you cook it. Make sense? Fresh and living food, you're giving to the body. You fight that out, sit it on the counter, it starts to turn what? Right? It starts to break itself down. God made that apple perfectly. Hopefully. Hopefully you're buying either an organic apple or a local apple, something that's not been radiated to the point where you bite it and you can set it there for 2 months or 6 weeks. If you got apples like that, you may want to find a different. Okay? So we're going to show you a little demonstration of how plant-based digestive enzymes work. When Kylie mentioned being lactose intolerant, we were born with our pancreas is full of these little digestive enzymes. And they're all to break down every different type of food that we eat. Okay? That makes sense. And it is what it is. You cook it, you kill it. Life gives life. Death gives
Dead food brings on very good disease. That's the bottom line.
So, we'll do this. I'm going to use chocolate. So here's the thing. We'll do this demonstration with pudding. Sometimes we'll use oatmeal just to show you quickly that the product actually, what an enzyme does, it does what it's supposed to. Okay?
These are specifically plant enzymes, and then the capsule itself is actually made from plants with the vegetarian enzymes. And we have vegetarian capsules. But what we'll do is we'll put the contents in there. If somebody has really severe issues in the upper portion of their digestive tract, esophageal issues, things like that, acid reflux, you can actually open the capsule, pour it in your mouth, it doesn't have much food, and then take a little sip of water as you take a meal. And what you're about to see start using the pudding is what starts happening to your food. So take it at the beginning of your meal, say burger or pizza or whatever, burrito, it's actually going to start breaking it down. And that's what you want. I'll go put it in. That's why
Okay, I haven't put it in there. So you saw the whole time. She's been talking, I've been stirring, right? Stir, no matter how it'll start breaking your food down. And I want to show you that, or tell you this. While she's doing that, here's the deal. Here's the mystery. There's a lot of people in here. I don't know how many people are here tonight. There's a lot. But even if all of us were born on the same day, at the same time, which would be very cool, because I'd be younger, but we had different parents and different grandparents, we would have a different little bank account or ATM machine or battery full of enzymes in our pancreas. Does that make sense? Okay? And so here's what's happened in our country. From generation to generation, it's caught up to us. And now we're jacked up. And here's what I mean by that. After World War II, the food changed. We started canning our food. If you're as old as me, we started eating TV dinners. Okay? They were funky. All right? They were kind of cool. Food was nasty. Okay? It was nasty.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. We are born with a certain amount of these digestive enzymes, but here's the mystery. We all start out at a different place. So we have a daughter who's lactose intolerant. All that means is she ran out of the enzyme lactase. That's all it is. Her body won't break milk sugars down. I'm not lactose intolerant, right? What am I? My body wouldn't break down what? Protein. To an amino acid state is uric acid. Guys, this is not complicated. This research, we didn't make this stuff up. This is from the 1930s, is when most of your plant enzyme research started, but it was pushed aside. It was suppressed. Check this out.
Yeah, it's already been done, but I didn't want to interrupt.
Chocolate milk.
Just so you guys can see.
Okay. What does that mean, right
It
there?
doesn't mean you're going to run to the bathroom, but it is fun to use chocolate. It really is. We've been doing this for years, and I still enjoy
We got
it.
vanilla over there. I mixed it up.
No, never as exciting.
Okay. Let's talk about it, because I always want to be like, just, hey, new to this, average person just thinking and saying, why the heck? My grandparents didn't take a digestive enzyme. Nope. Your grandparents didn't eat the food you ate. Your grandparents didn't deal with what we deal with in the environment. The food was different, the soil was different, the water was different, everything was different. We got devices 24/7. And if you think those are great for us,
Think again.
think again. Think again. You think microwaves are cool? Think again. All of a sudden, we have 6, 7, and 8-year-olds with arthritis. Does that make sense?
No.
Diabetes. Issues that people used to say were old people issues, now are in the kids. Let me give you some facts so you can kind of understand why we do what we do. It's anticipated. Our generation is the first generation in the United States. I'll be 54. Ty's right behind me. We are the first generation in the United States. It is anticipated that will outlive our children. Did you hear what I just said? We are the first generation. It is anticipated that we will outlive our children. Does that make any sense? Where's autism from? When I was growing up, that wasn't even around. Did you know today that depending on what research you look at, 1 out of 52, 1 out of 54 children in the United States are born somewhere on the autism spectrum? Did you know they say within the next 10 years in the United States, if we don't change some of the things that we're doing, 1 out of 2 children born in the United States will be born with autism. 1 out of 2, every other child. Okay, do we have an issue? Do we need to wake up? You see food changing. You see companies trying to change. You see foods like, Sprouts or stores like that, or Whole Foods. You see natural grocers. You see Fry's and places like that. Are they trying to get more healthier sections? Okay, but we have to wake up to these things. Why is it happening? Why are enzymes so important? Because if you don't break down what you put down your throat to the smallest molecules, so your body can pull whatever nutrient value it can get from there and pass and get rid of what it doesn't want, like in my mom's case, who passed of colon cancer, then guess what happens to that food? What do you think happens in your system?
Toxic.
It putrefies. It rots. It has to go somewhere. And breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks and desserts every day, over and over and over and over and over and over, and boom, something rears its head, and there's an issue. When it's so silly, it could have been prevented, but no one talks about it. So let's go back, Ty, to take them through from digesting their food with plant enzymes and why, wherever you want to go with that. I just want to really get you to understand why this is so important. This isn't just make this stuff up. You don't want to take a bunch of these digestive enzymes, eat more fresh and living food.
Talk to Rhonda.
Yeah, talk to Rhonda. We have a raw food chef here in the house. Okay, but where do you want to take that, Ty?
The reason we focus so much on enzymes in general is because it's completely life-changing. I'll give you just something that'll make you just start thinking. A lot of us, pretty much all of us, have lost our innate ability to even know when something's bad for us. I mean, I can ask a young child, you know, is this pizza or this apple better for you? And they're gonna go, the apple. They just like know. And you say, well, is water or soda better for you? And they'll say water. So it's not like we're teaching anything that's earth-shattering here, but we've gotten so far away from it, and we're in this convenient state where we want to microwave our food because we're too impatient. And I try to tell people, well, you're gonna pay now or you're gonna pay later. You know, so you need to be aware. So people go, well, I can't afford to eat like that. You can't afford not to eat like that. I mean, literally, what every penny we get, we would go food first and good food first before we spend it on anything else, because that's what you're doing. You're eating breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, 365 days a year. That is the main thing that's taxing your body. So if something's not going right, it's because that's what you're doing on a consistent basis. I pick on fast food quite a bit because I wouldn't eat fast food. I mean, it doesn't mean I didn't eat fast food. I had a horrible diet before I learned all of this. That's what sent me on this crusade at like 18 years old. I started questioning things and learning more and more. So I've been fortunate enough to have been learning this and studying since I was around 18, 19 years old. And it wasn't like I had anything terrible happen, thank God, to get me on this crusade. I just started noticing some things and started reading more. And so if you want the education, it's out there. You just have to be hungry for it. And you need to take your health in your own hands and know that no one else is going to hold your hand in that. Besides maybe me.
Besides you, but you did have something happen, and so did I. You had your appendix.
Yeah.
And tell them what
That
they
was-
said when you talked to
That was
your
later
surgeon.
in life, but,
Yeah, but you asked
in
the
between
surgeon.
my two kids,
But
I
ask the surgeon, what
had my
happened? You
appendix
talked to your
removed.
surgeon, what he said?
And he's like, well, you just don't need that anymore. And that's something we've evolved not to need. At the time, I was a crazy Christian lady. I was going to church like 3 times a week. And I'm like, hold on a minute. This evolution thing, let me see, we just all of a sudden don't need something. So then I just went on more of a crusade. You know, every time I hear something new, I go down a path. And the pancreas was needed for something, is what I found out, which was actually really kind of amazing. So anyone who still has their pancreas, appendix. I have all the body parts in my brain right now. The appendix, it's really kind of cool. It'll get us off track. But back in the day, if you were in a village or whatever and you bout of something came through, like right now everybody's been dealing with flu and this and that. And so if dysentery came through and you go to the bathroom a lot and you're pooping a ton, you're losing all of your good friendly probiotics, all of your good bacteria that actually keeps so much functioning, which we'll get into in a minute. But what they would do is your good friendly bacteria, when you would begin expelling all of the toxin, whatever it was, whatever that virus was, could be like an E. coli or something that came through that village, your good guys would actually go hide in your appendix. And so you could still go to the bathroom and they'd hide in your appendix. And then once you were done with that bout of whatever it was, they'd come back out. And they would colonize your whole intestinal tract. Wow. So I don't even remember my surgeon's name, but I would love to go back now and just go, it was needed. It was something so important. I had no choice. So important. I had no choice. At that moment, I was like crawling and dying, and I was gone. You know. So here's a thought for you. So if my appendix had burst, why would I really have to be rushed to the hospital fast? Because you get something called toxemia. So you're like, well, wait a minute. Let's think about that. So my poop could be that toxic that it could kill me, that I need to be rushed to the hospital for immediate surgery. Just think about that. So that is something, that is how toxic that something that we eat can become. And so what's happening now is we're all eating as much as we're eating. And the reason our grandparents didn't eat this is they didn't eat as much cooked and processed food. I mean, you go any restaurant and that volume of food should feed a family of 4. But it doesn't. We sit there and we're like, okay, now I'm barely full. Where's dessert? You know, because we're stretching our stomachs out. So we're eating far too much cooked and processed food.
But what's happening is the food is then seeping through the walls. You're supposed to absorb your nutrients through your intestinal tract, but now some of the food is seeping through. So that toxic matter is seeping through the wall of the intestinal tract, getting into your bloodstream. And I used to do hundreds and hundreds of people's blood. I mean, all the athletes, just everybody, a bunch of people's blood. I saw too much blood. And what's amazing about it, though, is it's totally your river of life. And it has to flow. Every single person in this room has to go from like your big toe to your brain in 60 seconds. And if there's all this stuff clogging it, you're going to have high blood pressure, you're going to have all kinds of issues. So what clogs it? What is that debris that ends up clogging that extracellular fluid? It's uric acid, like what Sean had talked about, which is undigested proteins. It never made it to an amino acid state as uric acid. And then in the bloodstream, that looks like large pieces of broken glass. High cholesterol looks like even larger pieces of glass, like even a more harder log of glass that sits in there. And then your undigested fats and sugars like to stay together. They stick together, and then they float through there. And so all of that is like if you were drinking a milkshake and there's strawberries just jamming up the straw. You're not able to do it. So if you really want to get that strawberry through the straw, what do? You create more suction, you push through. That's what the heart's doing. The heart's like, holy moly, they can't eat one more burger or they're just going to be done. And so all this just adds up. It just adds up. So it's not about running to a fast food restaurant today. All of us could leave here and go have a hot fudge sundae and we're going to live tomorrow. It's about doing multiple things daily. So we're eating a poor breakfast, a poor snack, a poor lunch, a poor dinner, and maybe some alcohol to top it off at the end of the night because we're done with how stressed our day was. So it's the compounding. It's compounding.
Well, if your blood is your river of life, and you guys ever hear the expression, your gut is the other brain? You know that. Your immunity, right? Your immune system is in your, like 70% of it's in your gut. Everything's about the gut. But no one ever taught us that, right? Do we have brain issues now?
Yes.
We have anxiety. We have depression like never before. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? ADD, ADHD, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all these things. Why is that? Why is that? Have you ever thought, if Tylene's saying your blood cells travel from your big toe to your brain, it's supposed to get there and deliver nutrients. Basically what's happening is it's showing up when it gets there with no nutrients to deliver. So the brain is starving. The brain's not functioning. Why would I want to take a digestive enzyme? Just for that matter. I want every nutrient I can get to my body wherever it's supposed to be delivered. That's important. When I eat that apple, that fresh and living food, it's all good. I don't need an enzyme. So you're starting to get the understanding. Enzymes unlock your food. They unlock the nutrients in your food. Does that make sense? Here's what happens when you use them. You most likely will become a little more regular. You need to poop. If you're not pooping,
We talk a lot of poop.
we talk a lot of poop.
Yeah, you're full of it.
You're full of it. You're full of poop. You need to poop. So get over it. Talking about it. Get over it. Just get over it. You want to
Ask your mates, did you poop today?
Yeah.
I asked my kids, did you poop today?
So,
One of them
that's
was
it.
21. He's like, okay, Mom.
So you got to poop. So you're probably going to become a little more regular. You're going to get more energy from your food. How many people in here take stimulants? How many cups of coffee can you drink? How many rock stars, Red Bulls, Monsters do you have to pound to get through the day? And creating what's called Addison's disease. You're smashing your adrenal glands. So if a big bear runs through that door right now,
You're the last one to leave.
you guys better block it for me.
Well done.
Right? You need to go. You need to get in that fight. I need to go right now. I'm out. Well, guess what? If you don't have adrenals to do that, you can't do that. You can't do that anymore. You've tricked them over and over. If you can drink 3-4 cups of coffee before bed, that's not good. You don't have any adrenals left. They're fatigued. They're done. You cooked them. Let's reset them. Let's reset our health. Don't mask an issue. Let's find out what went wrong in the first place. And it starts by breaking down what you're consuming. This is not difficult. It is not. We live in a different time. It's a different world now. It is what it is. It's all good. But you have to use your mind. You have to empower yourself to do things better. And that's why people need to take a plant-based digestive enzyme. That'll digest a Thanksgiving meal. Whatever you eat, it'll break it down.
Meaning it has a variety in there. Enzymes are substrate specific. And when you're eating, you're always eating macronutrients, a protein, a carbon, a fat. They're large molecules, macro, meaning larger, instead of a micromolecule, which is actually an enzyme, or vitamins or minerals. Those are the tiny ones. So your macromolecules, your larger things, like a protein, a carbon, a fat, has to be broken down into something small so the body can recognize it. So in the case of fats, it's going to break down into different types of fatty acids, which are so important, I can't even tell you, for creating a strong phospholipid layer, lipids meaning fats, around your red blood cells. And I don't have time tonight to go into why that's so important, but just think cancers, invaders, you need that strength. That is your strength right there. So you need your fats to break down to a fatty acid so they can be utilized. And just like what Sean was talking about, uric acid, your proteins, no matter what kind of protein it is, it could be a scoop of peanut butter. If you do not break down to an amino acid, it will stay as uric acid, and that large thing, the red blood cells will not allow in. It can do nothing with it. So now you're amino acid deficient, or you're fatty acid deficient. And then your carbs, carbohydrates, you're actually going to make a simple glucose, which will actually feed the brain. And it's just all three components are so important. I can't even stress it enough. And they just do unbelievable things. So if you can't break that down, and really from age 20 on, every 10 years you lose about 10% of your body's ability to digest whole food groups, which is why as we get older and older and older, we're in a nursing home, we're living off of Ensure, and you may want to eat a steak and potatoes or something like that. There's no way you'd be able to process it. It just doesn't work. But my grandmother, who's 101, she could probably easily throw down a steak. I've been stuffing her full of enzymes for years. So, yeah, she's amazing.
Her hands were like this.
Yeah.
This is true. Her hands were like this. And now all her fingers are normal. She has one pinky slightly bent, but she's normal. Sharp as a tack. She just turned 101 a couple weeks ago. I mean,
I tell her that's just so she can hold her tea.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So just for time's sake, we just kind of want to move along, but we just want you to know how important digestion is. Is any of it starting to make sense? Okay. Obviously, you eat better than poorly. You're helping your body, but whatever it is you're eating, you got to break it all the way down. Super important, guys. You have to do it. Okay. And yes, pregnant moms can use it. Little infants go from breast milk, right, to formula. They get colicky, right? You ever have that happen? They're uncomfortable. They're screaming.
Because breast milk has the enzymes in it. As soon as you take them off and go to formulas and things like that,
you can take a little capsule and you can open it up and just try one. Just take half, pour it in that bottle, and watch a baby stop screaming. Okay, so you want to be able to help. There's so many. It's so simple. It's so simple. You keep doing something wrong over time, what's going to happen? It'll catch up to you. Something's going to happen. Prevent these things from happening. Now, things will start to fix themselves in some areas when you give your body the chance. Your body's really smart. Give it what it needs. Our whole thing is give your body what it needs and let's see what it can do to heal itself. It's not us, right? I mean, this planet was made, there's plants on this planet. There's things on this planet that were there for us. We got so far off, right?
You just reminded me of something. I was going to tell you this earlier, but I go on tangents and forget what the heck I was going to say. Because I get so excited about talking about something, but he just reminded me when I said how we have lost our innate ability to know whether something's good or bad. I was going somewhere with that, so here's the finale of that. Animals still have that ability. That's where I was going to go with that. So, as weird as this will sound, a dog isn't supposed to eat dog food. It's supposed to eat the neighbor's cat. I'm a cat lover, but I still love things. And the cat's supposed to eat the mouse. Do you know what I'm saying? And they're not supposed to eat cooked and processed food. Last time I checked, the cat or the dog, they don't have hands and they're not going to go cook their meal. The cat's not going to take that salmon and go cook it up and then feed it to itself. It's going to eat it raw, fresh and living. So what are we seeing with our animals now? We're seeing the same diseases. We're
Pet
seeing
insurance?
tumors and cancers. We're seeing
Ladders to get up on the bed?
arthritis.
Little ladders to get up on the bed?
Can you picture a lion going, I want to go eat that, but I can't get up on that mountain to get it.
So out in the wild, you don't see this. They've actually done studies on this. And what is incredible is the animals, the wild animals that are further, like in the woods, that can't get to us, they don't have any of these diseases. As they start coming in closer, picture like raccoons and skunks, and they're getting into your garbage, and they start seeing these same issues. And then when we domesticate them, a dog doesn't even secrete amylase in its mouth. You start actually giving it cooked food, it will start after about a week, because it has no choice, it will start producing some amylase in its mouth to be able to digest that food you're giving it. And so we've worked with so many people to save their animals, and it's incredible. But it's just picture a squirrel. A squirrel knows what to do. It's going to go bury the nuts and seeds that it finds, and let that moisture of the earth start to get rid of all the enzyme inhibitors and the bad things that are in the nuts and seeds. The squirrel will go back, dig it up, and eat it. A dog will do it with a bone. Let that bone start to digest and start to dissolve, so when they go back, they can eat it. So they know to do this. And we've like lost that ability. We could literally think we could eat pizza, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and think we're going to actually get something from that. And what you may survive, but you are not alive. You're not. You're just kind of going through the motions. Life gives life all day of the week. Life gives life. The more fresh and living food you give to your body, or you can do, with a little Band-Aid, because we want pizza. Sean loves pizza. You take some enzymes. Now, if you're like some of the older boys, like, kids in college that can throw down a whole pizza, you might need 4 or 5 enzymes. But it's still just a Band-Aid. You have to still have a good amount of fresh and living food. We try on a regular basis, on our best days, we're doing 80% raw. On our worst days, I don't know, maybe, and really bad days, like over the holidays, it was all dead. I was getting up in the morning and eating pumpkin pie for breakfast. So a few days of that, I was like, okay, I'm going to reel it back in. So I am just like anybody else, let me tell you. But I just want you to understand, if you were doubting this, just look at nature. Go back to what nature's doing, and all of the answers are literally right there. It's that easy. When I started researching this stuff, and I'm like a nobody, and I'm going, like, what? How come no one knows this? Like, am I the first person to, like, read this and have something click? So I started sharing it with people, and then next thing you know, another person asked me a question, another person asked me a question. Next thing you know, we got Steve Nash. But it's crazy. But it's so weird. But isn't the light bulb going on for you guys? Because the truth resonates. You immediately, as you hear the truth, you don't have to ask whether it's the truth. You just immediately know. When you hear the truth, you know it. So when I was reading some of these things from way back, 1930s, I am going, whoa, somebody missed this here. Everyone needs to know about this. And there are some doctors that I've met over the years that they do know about it, and they've been trying to do this crusade. But we need to all be a voice. It needs to be a movement. We cast our vote every single time we go into that grocery store, and everywhere we go, we're casting our vote as to what we want and what we expect.
We used to buy like burgers and keep them for years. And so when we go teach little kids or even adults, we would show them fresh and living versus dead food. So we could go to that place that has sold billions and we'd buy one and
Leave it sitting out.
we'd leave it sitting there
It's hard as a brick.
for years. Go try this yourself. It's the same. It's the same. Open it up 5 years later. It's the same. It's the same.
No,
It's just right
no,
there.
no mold is the thing.
There's no mold.
Mold will
Nothing.
grow on something that's alive.
It's crazy.
Or bugs will want to eat it if it's alive.
I mean,
You
even
can
when
let it sit on your counter and bugs won't even touch it. So that's like, which goes back to animals knowing what's good and bad.
we're gonna hurry up so we can wrap up on time. But I
time
mean,
is it?
even growing up,
Time is young.
I remember like Mickey D's was kind of like real food back then, but it was like a treat. It was like a treat, man. If you had a soda, that was a treat. You went down maybe to the soda fountain, you had a treat. Now we're just big gulping, just doing our thing. We got to get away from that. So this is common sense, you guys. It's common sense, but we don't think about it that way. So part of the reason why you're here is that we've partnered with a company who has given us a bigger platform. So we travel and we speak. We've been doing this for many, many years, and could be a cancer organization, could be an autism organization, could be a military base, it could be little kid. It doesn't matter to us. but we've partnered with a company, Trinont, and we now have pulled back. We were in retail. We were in all these stores, like Whole Foods and vitamin shops and all over the place, and making products. Oh yeah, yeah, in Arizona, High Health, right? All the High Healths. We made products for High Health, and now we just said, screw it. We're tired of all this nonsense because it's education.
Yeah, bottles don't talk when they're sitting on the shelf.
No.
Right.
So we've partnered with this company, Trinont. We love them. They've been doing financial education for about 4 years. That's super important, but so is health education. And they asked us if we would join their cause and educate on health, because it's great to have your finances in order, but without health, you got nothing.
Or vice versa. If you're
So-
really, really healthy and you're totally broke and
that's-
stressed,
That's why.
that hurts you too.
So we call this life because life gives life. I'll tell you quickly about 2 other things we just gave with Trinont to launch for them, and one of them is a whole a multivitamin, right, from Whole Foods, plant-based, so multivitamin, mineral, antioxidant product. We don't use synthetic ingredients. Okay, most companies that do. If you guys, anyone in here take vitamins or supplements, right? Go home and look at your bottle and turn that bottle around and see, use vitamin C as an example, because that's a pretty common vitamin, right? And see if it says vitamin C as ascorbic acid. If it does say that, that's synthetic. That's not real, that's not vitamin C. That's hydrochloric acid in corn syrup.
I'll tell you another side note. Wow.
You can say
I'll tell you
whatever
another side
want.
note.
I can't stop you.
I'm a total side note. I don't want another side.
Sidebar.
Yeah, just Google vitamin A from palmitate causing birth defects. Okay, and so vitamin A from palmitate is also a synthetic. So just like he was saying about vitamin C is a synthetic, vitamin A from palmitate is a synthetic as well. And when you talk to a prenatal doc,
Wait, let me make sure I understand this, so in case they didn't get it. So vitamin A from palmitate causes birth defect, but it's in the prenatal.
Right. So, and I've asked prenatal doctors, well, hey, you know this research is out there, and you're aware of that. So why would it be a prenatal? Well, they're not getting enough that would cause birth defects. And I said, I agree with you. Maybe that's not enough in what they're taking. So how do you know what they eat? We don't. And what I mean by that is our food is something called enriched and fortified. What they do is they strip down the original whatever it was, and then because it becomes so toxic, when it's totally stripped down like a white flour bread, what they do is then they put back in stuff so you're not supposed to be eating it. Okay? So they're enriching and fortifying. But they don't put back in what fell on the floor. They're putting back in what they want to put back in. So like vitamin A palmitate. So if that new mom is taking those prenatal, and then she's eating this cereal with extra
vitamin A, and then she's doing this, maybe she heard somewhere vitamin A is good for eyesight, so she goes and buys some extra. It shouldn't be like that, okay? If she was eating carrots, wild yams, do you think her baby would have birth defects? No. Might come out a little orange. Probably birth defects. Have a nice
So
little
it's really funky.
But it's that crazy.
Yeah.
It's those things that I would read that would go,
What? What the heck? It's really jacked up. I can tell you, like other products, maybe it's personal care or skin care or household products, these big companies that a lot of us grew up with. Well, these same companies are in Canada, they're in Japan, they're in Europe. Same companies that are here in the U.S. Same products, but if you turn the label around and read the ingredients are all different over there from the same companies that are here. You know why? Because they're all banned. They're illegal in those countries. You go to prison if you make a product and put those ingredients and sell them to human beings. So the same companies, they're here in the U.S. putting in those same freaking illegal banned ingredients, and we're just using them every day. What's the biggest organ on your body?
Skin.
So as you lather up and soap it up and lotion it up and clean it up, you are just poisoning yourself like nobody's business.
in 23 seconds. It will actually go through your skin and into your bloodstream. And so if you're sitting there I won't use brand names, but I'll say glass cleaner, and you're touching the paper towel and cleaning that glass.
Blue and it's
going right
starts
through.
with a W.
So any of that, it's things you want to think about. So if you're gonna, you used to always say, pick your poison. If you're gonna poison yourself, at
Maybe
least
have Tito's
make
Pop.
it taste good. You know, make it taste good. That's
Kidding.
the thing. Have a slice of pizza. Have a hot fudge sundae. Don't let your shampoo be your toxin. I mean, one, it just doesn't taste as good. So that's just a little side note on topicals.
But that's what's happening.
Deodorants with the aluminum. Yeah, just stay away from them.
Okay, sidebar. Okay, so we'll just reel it back in. So we do the enzyme probiotic called Life. We do a product called Balance for Trinont that is a multivitamin, mineral, antioxidant, because you're not going to get your vitamins and minerals you need anymore. You're not going to get it in your food. You can try. You're
Well,
still,
our soil's depleted.
the whole deal.
And then we cook all of our foods, so you're gonna lose it in the cooking process, just like cooking broccoli and the water's gonna turn bright green. I know, I just have to always come up. I have to leave out the odds. Get it? I don't want you to go home and not completely understand it.
We'll be here until like tomorrow. Okay. All right, listen. Here's the other thing. And then there's one more product that we're launching for them. It's called Vibe. We originally created it for ADD. It's a total brain, right? Just really good vitamin B, brain product, clarity, kind of like a happy pill, right? Really good for focus. We've had a lot of success with like Major League Baseball pitchers, collegiate pitchers, high school pitchers, just because of focus. People love it to drive. People love it before they take an exams. You want to feed your brain, right? Starts in the gut, but we want to make sure the brain's doing good. Because yes or no, is there a lot of brain stuff out there? It's sad. It's sad. It hits all of us. We all of us in here have something going on. All of us. If we're transparent and would become vulnerable and actually speak the truth, we either have an issue ourselves, right? Not too many of you in here are 100%. And if you don't, someone very close to you does. And if you listen to people, they're always talking about something, right? So this is what we want to start. We want to change this trend. And we do need your help. We need your voice. Because we're not allowed. We can have the Steve Nashes of the world and all these people, but we're not allowed to do anything with that. We have to have people sharing this information with people. And we have to be careful. You know, we love doctors and we love U.S. and we love all this stuff, but man, it's time for some freaking change. 1 out of 2 men in the United States will experience cancer. That's not cool. 1 out of 2.5 women will experience cancer. 1 out of 3 now, it's gone down to 1 out of 2. And that's not a gloom and doom thing, you guys. It's a would you please wake the frick up thing. That's what it is. We can change that. You can prevent so many things for yourself and the people you care about. Maybe even people you don't care about. Question. But you have to just understand there's so simple steps to prevent stuff from going down the wrong path. So we're probably really close to just being out of time. But I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to maybe answer a couple questions. What time is it?
7:53.
Tuesday.
I needed to know that too. We're not always here. We live part-time here, part-time San Diego, part-time in our RV, so we never really know what day it is or where we are.
Yeah, or where we are.
Thank you for clarifying that. Is there any, I want to do this. This is the first time with this company Trinont that in Phoenix, Arizona, we've done this. We've never just opened it up for people to come and we can just share this information with, so we're grateful that you're here. This is super cool. We did one in Tucson last month, and now we're, no, I just mean nutrition. Just nutrition we did last month, and it was fabulous, and we go all, we got a lot of markets to go hit. But is there anything that maybe you want to share or ask, maybe view something that's working or helping you, or you want to share that or ask a question? Yes.
I just have a quick question. What's the best soap that we should use in the shower?
Now you're asking good questions. No, I have a quick answer for that.
Oh my God. Quick?
Yes. Just go to ewg.org, www.ewg.org, and they have something called Skin Deep, and you can actually download that app, and then you always know, and they have everything on there. And they're a nobody's paying them, so you can just find out what's good.
Okay, I had my gallbladder taken out a long time ago, and then the bile, I've never gotten an answer from the doctors. Okay, because that's where your bile is at usually. Okay, what happens to since you no longer have
So you're stressing the liver out now. So when you take the liver's little best friend away, it stresses the liver out. And then if there was anything clogging, like the duct that goes into the pancreas, you've also stressed the pancreas out before it was even taken out. So the enzymes, the specific thing you would need in anyone that has a family member where their gallbladder has been removed, the lipase is a fat splitting enzyme. So what that does is it breaks down fats. So very similar to what the gallbladder's whole use is. So when you're eating still fatty foods, because you need to eat fats, you still need to eat avocados and nuts and seeds and things that are going to give you good fats, because like I told you about that phospholipid layer, you need to build that. So you need to make sure that you're processing them though. So you would take an enzyme, maybe even once your body's been compromised like that, you probably need 2 enzymes, especially with a fatty meal. But if it's not a heavy fat meal, you could get away with 1 still. But it's going to take the pressure off of your liver.
And remember, it's important for you to know plant-based enzymes, right? And one of the unique things about this is, yeah, it's a full spectrum plant-based, and it's also a little bit of stabilized probiotics. So we're not in animal enzymes or pancreatic enzymes. Yes.
So I have a friend who has gastroparesis, and so she has a really hard time, obviously, like eating anything. So, like, what
Is she still able to eat raw food? Or does that still bother her a bit, do you know?
she tries,
Yeah.
like she has a hard time, and sometimes she will just eat things even though she knows it's gonna hurt.
Right.
But like the last.
So anything that takes, even with like any type of compromised digestion, even if it's like just really just anything compromised in the digestion category, obviously smoothies and juices are going to be way easier on the system. The other thing you want to do specifically with the enzyme, and in her case, is she'd actually open the capsule. She's a definite candidate for putting it in her mouth, taking a little sip of water, letting it get in there and start working its magic. So when she takes her first couple bites of food, it'll actually take pressure off the body, because the signal all over the body will be, we don't need extra help, we don't need extra hydrochloric acid. So when the body stirs up that extra hydrochloric acid, you can imagine what acid would create. You know, tears in the lining of the esophagus, tears in the lining of the mucosal lining of your stomach, which will create ulcers. So you don't want excess of that hydrochloric acid being called upon. And it's not called upon if it's a raw food, because it's already breaking down, so the signals are like, we're good down here, we don't need a lot of stuff. But if it's really, really cooked, all the signals come out. Hey, we need more hydrochloric acid, this has to be really liquefied before it goes further down. We need way more digestive enzymes, and that's where you start taxing the body and creating issues.
It's interesting because what do people run and do if they have like acid reflux and things like that?
Antacid.
Right? Tums, Rolaids, right? Let's go ahead and stop digestion. That's neat.
Indigestion is you're not digesting your food.
Yeah.
So the hydrochloric acid is what causes
Yes.
GERD and acid reflux.
Okay, so go ahead. I know you had your hand
Yes.
up earlier.
Sorry, yes.
So my boyfriend is really
Hold on, hold on. I can't hear. Say again.
sorry, I interrupted.
You're fine.
My boyfriend's really deficient in B12 or whatever, so we got the vitamin B12 pills and everything, whatever. So takes them every day, but so he can sleep a really, really long time. But then throughout the day I'm just so tired. I just don't feel that energy. It's taken a really long time when I try to get him to wake up earlier for him to be like, yeah, I'm starting to feel that a little bit of energy, but I just feel like the actual B12 isn't really doing anything. And it can just be because it's
Yeah, exactly. It's probably a synthetic form. Well, it's really hard to find B vitamins. B vitamins have to be like grown on a yeast and then extracted. There's several different things. B vitamins are very hard to find. You can get a nutritional yeast at the store, and then that's going to be really good B vitamins. But here's the thing with B vitamins, which we missed talking about this product. That product, we talked heavily about enzymes. There's actually probiotics in the product as well, and they're stabilized. So what stabilized means is they're basically in this like cryogenic state, sleeping, and then they'll come alive and colonize in the intestinal tract. Why is that important to her and to get to your boyfriend, right? Because B vitamins can be made by your probiotics, which when Sean kept saying, your other brain's in your gut, and it starts with your gut, but if you have anxiety, anxiety and depression, you can't sleep, whatever, it's because your gut ecology, your microbiome is off. So the good probiotics you're gonna get with that, and it's enough in there, it's a maintenance supply, so you get some with each meal. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, for them to colonize in the small and large intestine, which is also really important. There's multiple different kinds. And when that happens, they'll start colonizing and making B vitamins. So you're getting true good B vitamins, and then the brain starts functioning better.
So life, so the enzyme probiotic, that would start it.
That would start it. And then
And
Vibe
then the Vibe, which is the real good vitamin D.
actually has it. So the combo pack is huge.
Yes.
Would you say that the vitamin A palmitate, and because I've seen that in school lunches too, in the
Fabulous.
You can't get me going down these.
Would you say that how in so prenatal means pre-birth, right? Or,
Yeah, like I'm pregnant and I'm gonna go take something to make sure my
think all
baby's
that-
really healthy.
It's kind of like a pre-programming to buy the brightest thing on the shelf, along with like McDonald's and stuff like that. It's like
You
almost
can't
like a
get me.
pre-program.
That's like a whole political.
Don't even get her started.
Kind of
That's
blew
a
my
whole
mind
other
with that,
seminar.
because now it just makes
You
you
guys
spiral
will-
down a
yeah.
rabbit hole.
But
It's like-
that's
It is a rabbit hole.
So
It's a rabbit
you're
hole.
young.
Yeah.
So I'm living in that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I started when I was
Yes,
like
she is.
18, and I pulled him in the rabbit hole.
Trust me.
But come with me. Every morning he wakes up and goes, "What are we eating? Big bark or something?" What did you eat last night?
Listen, if I'm gonna go in a rabbit hole with somebody, I'm going with her.
Well,
That's good.
speaking of rabbits,
Oh no.
yeah.
Hey, oh yeah.
It's good you don't know about rabbits.
Oh wait, let me get this
I'm
part.
impressed.
Let me get this part.
Yeah, you do that.
All right.
I just brought it up.
So usually guys are always asking me, all right, Sean, what about, they got this little issue, and like low testosterone is a big deal now in this country. Low T, okay? It's a big deal for a variety of reasons. But let's go back to enzymes. What do they do again to your blood? Make it flow. They clean your blood. Why do men run out and buy that little crazy blue pill?
Blood flow.
Blood flow. Blood flow. Blood flow. This is good. Women too, right? It's all about blood flow. So,
After hours, it gets more exciting.
So, usually what we'll do, the next time we come back here, we'll teach something, whatever you guys want us to teach. You know, we can get with Eric and other people, we'll teach. We typically will take a topic, maybe it's hormones, maybe it's athletics, maybe it's sexual health, maybe it's, whatever it is, detox, whatever it is, and we'll teach that. But we have to start with the fundamentals, the foundation, because everything starts with digesting what you eat. I mean, that's so important. What time is it now? Okay. Yes,
I have one question. Does the enzyme help with people who are gluten intolerant?
So yes, but so gluten is a protein. So anyone who doesn't know, gluten is a protein. What's happened over the years between your grandparents' gluten and they never had any issues and could eat bread every night is it's gotten stronger because we needed the plants to survive. So they kept breeding the plants to be stronger and stronger. If a storm came, this little plant was still going to be standing there and that crop was not going to be depleted. Well, what made that plant stronger is like a glue-like substance. And what's happening is that our body can't handle that. It starts reacting and creating inflammation. So yes, there's an enzyme in there. Your proteolytic, protein-splitting enzymes will help with gluten. Does that mean run out and have bread and pizza and whatever? No. You can get away with a little bit of it, yes. If you have full-blown celiac, I still say absolutely stay away from it because what's happened now is your blood has actually memorized that. It's more like an autoimmune. It's a little bit different than just a gluten intolerance. There's really gluten intolerance, it's on your diet, and as long as same thing with lactose intolerance. You can still, if you end up having milkshakes, you're not going to die, you're not going to figure it out. But the way your body's figuring it out is it's calling on your metabolic to figure it out. And what happens is you deplete your metabolic enzymes, it lowers your weight. So there's a massive component, I think it's 80 enzymes in general. Never in a single form.
but metabolic enzymes, you guys, so you understand
So
that?
yes and no.
So metabolic enzymes are the life force of your body. So when you're injured or you're healed, that's how we got all these athletes. We're healing them quicker. So they're down here. I'll give you an example. So real oversimplified. I roll my ankle. And now my metabolic enzymes are supposed to heal my ankle. Or if you're getting sick, right? That kind of thing. And now I eat breakfast, cooked and processed food. And I don't have all the enzymes to break down that meal. Body's really smart. The metabolic enzymes stop healing my ankle. Come on up, help me digest that meal. Slow the healing process. Now I'm done eating. Now they go, I'm gonna go back down and start healing the ankle again. Oh, now I'm gonna have a snack. They stop again. Then I have lunch. Then I do a protein bar. Then you see what's going on here? So it's about preserving your digestive enzymes, right? Allowing your metabolic enzymes to do what they were meant to do.
That's really, what he just explained is really, really important in doing diabetics. Because one, the pancreas not only handles your spitting out of all your digestive enzymes, but also handles your insulin. And also if you're taxing all your metabolic enzymes, they're not going to be able to focus on healing your body. So diabetics end up getting things chopped off because of that. So it's very, very important to make sure that things are moving and they're digesting stuff.
So healing time with injuries, that's how we got all these athletes. Typically we were cutting it down in half. Oftentimes
Literally,
half.
healing time in half.
They'd go to the doc, would say it's X, you're out.
6 weeks, they'd be back in 3.
So that's kind of a neat thing. Okay, we're out of time.
You know what? I wanted
wait.
testimonials too, if
Okay,
anybody's
but let me hear one more.
Fibromyalgia.
Yes.
I'm interested, what is it? Is this accounting?
So that's fibromyalgia, lupus, all of the autoimmune, rheumatoid arthritis. That's a humongous category in general.
Yes, it is.
So
My device has it.
will this help? Absolutely. No matter what somebody tells you they have, even some random things, because they're finally going to be getting nutrients from their food that could potentially heal something. But also with all of those, there's tremendous inflammation that goes on. And that's,
Can I tell you a secret?
yeah.
Can tell them a secret. But you can't, well, you tell me, I can't tell you a secret.
You want us to stop?
So I just walked in a little bit.
Hawaii?
This is
Hawaii.
Oh, I would have gone.
Oh,
Hawaii.
This is for
So I just was on the phone in the parking lot with the owners of Trinot, and we were talking about other products and what to bring in and all these things, and I was just like, listen, we gotta have
Our secret
Our
product
secret.
that we've been using for years.
heavy proteolytic enzyme product, which
We always say, when in doubt, take this product. And that would be, so
Yeah, I've
until
tried it
people
for
get
hours.
that though, what you do to use enzymes therapeutically is you take them on an empty stomach. So you don't want to compound the issue. So say, let's just take uric acid for instance, okay? So if he hadn't met me, hadn't started taking enzymes, every single time.
is really sad.
Mm-hmm.
He's the best.
Your ears would feel better. You wouldn't have to listen to me. So every single time he ate anything protein based, he was adding to the uric acid pile. So that's why something that just starts off as a little bit of finger pain turns into like massive gout. Okay? So what happens is, so you're taking the enzymes with your meals to not keep compounding the issue, whether it's excess fats, whether it's excess uric acid. And so when you take them on an empty stomach, things like lipase will go in and look through the bloodstreams for fats. And they'll bump into them and go, hey, you're not supposed to be here. That large molecule, we need to break you down to a fatty acid. You're blocking traffic. And so in the case when anybody has any type of disease, you just take some at night to make sure if they've missed anything throughout the day that's undigested and for some reason it found its way into the bloodstream, you want to make sure on an empty stomach, and that lipase will go look for fats. In the case of protein, in the case of what Sean had with excess uric acid, the proteolytic enzymes, they're systemic. They will go through the bloodstream looking for big blocks of uric acid to break down, which is all of a sudden why your fingers and stuff will feel better. You start feeling better. So it's not like anything cures it. It just eliminates what the issue was to begin
Yeah,
with.
we're not here to,
Yeah.
don't become a health expert.
No.
Don't overcomplicate
Don't.
things. Don't become, yeah, don't explain.
Keep it simple.
Just,
Do the pudding down.
let the body do what it can do. Here's what I want to do. I want to wrap up with this. We love you guys. We appreciate you listening. We're not paid to be here. We're not paid to be here. Whoever invited you here, get with them. Because we need your voice, man. We need you. We need your
Enzyme
voice
army.
to do what we're doing. And there's 30-some thousand of us now and growing. We believe we can go to about 150,000 in 2018. This is a movement. is a nice big tribe to be a part of with us. I mean, we want to really help change the way things are going on in our country, not only for us, but for future generations. And the way that we operate and the way that we pay for this hotel where we go is you got you there, and I would encourage you to do that. You don't have to do it. But if anyone is doing our part,
That wants to share a story.
wow.
Okay, anybody that has a really great story?
All right, so
Here, you want to
arthritis.
stand up just real quick, just so they can see you.
I've had arthritis in my hands. My dad is a gout monster. All right, my dad's had gout since I was probably 8 or 9 years old. Now I found out that gout's uric acid. So when I wake up in the morning, my hands hurt. It was getting to the point where I was having to use the plastic thing to open the jars like an older lady. That's why. And so I started taking this because I really was skeptical, I'm not gonna lie. And within 2 days, the pains were gone in my hands. I cannot wear the boots I'm wearing right now because by about 2 hours I'd have a knot on my knee. Okay, I'm wearing the boots, I've worn them all day, I've worn them all week long, I have no knot on my knee. I didn't take the enzymes for 2 days, or the boots. Got a knot on my knee. Took the enzymes with lunch. Within 2 hours, the knot was gone on my knee. I'm not making it up. Not only that,
We know.
I'm 22 pounds, just a tad bit shrunk. Less than 60 days.
Yeah.
What are you trying to say to me, Sean?
I'm just saying.
Comes full
No,
of
you're
love.
not full of it.
Thank you.
Anybody?
Sure, love it.
All right, so this, I actually dragged to the meeting the other night.
I love that.
Scottsdale. I was reluctant to go. I'm
Oh,
brand new.
Scottsdale, okay.
I'm brand new. I signed up on Sunday because of these guys and the enzyme, because I went, the night, was it Thursday? So Wednesday night. Wednesday night, I went, had a hamburger. I don't eat bread. 6 o'clock in the morning, my dad asked me why am I was in major pain. I had like serious gas or something, but it was painful. Went to work with my partner here. I complained all day. She heard me. I was now having to get ready for a meeting, and I didn't even want to go. But I made a promise to his cousin, my friend of 35 years. So I was going to go, and I went home first, popped an antacid, worked for a little bit, in pain, sitting in the meeting with you guys. I got up. I went over to the stairs. I sat down, and then I saw a bottle of that on the counter.
Jacked it.
I'm not gonna name names, but somebody you all know gave me 4. But I actually was sitting there trying to be, trying to stretch out a little bit. I'm in pain. I'm in a lot of pain, and I took the pill. And in a minute, I heard digesting. And then, I ate throughout the day. It's just that I was having pain, but heard the digestion. And then within I'd not even say 5 minutes, the pain was 100% gone. I brought 8 people with me tonight.
So listen, here's part of the thing. Not only do bottles not talk on shelves, and there's nothing wrong with Whole Foods or Sprouts or vitamin shops, but they're not going to have the passion that in the story. No one would ever hear your story. And so why, if you're the one sharing the story, then we don't want to give the money to Whole Foods or High Health. I'm sorry, no offense to anyone. We want you compensated for that. And we've worked with so many holistic health practitioners who are loving, giving people all over the planet. And there's one issue I've seen for the last 15 years with these folks. They give and they give of themselves, a service, a product, something, but it's never about the money, but then they can't do what they're passionate about. Because we have to make some money to eat, to live, and that's what I love about Trinot. Trinot is, we asked them a huge favor. We said, please don't raise the price. Leave the price alone. In fact, if people are willing to share the information, would you lower the price? And I thought they'd say, no, Sean. And they said, yes, how much? And I said, I don't know, like $10 less a bottle. And they did it. Our multi, they lowered $15 a bottle. You guys, this is not a money thing. However, you should receive something for spreading this information, at least to us. I mean, that's what it's about. And And even if someone doesn't buy product, that's okay. Maybe you learn something that you can now put into play in your life. We just know the difference. We have thousands and thousands of unsolicited testimonials that have come to us just similar or similar over the years. We know what will happen. And as we put more and more education and more things to help drug you here
Yeah.
or whatever, and help them out
That's how much they love you.
and help yourself out.